The way we have really approached building Ooyala is a slightly different model than I think what you'll see in most companies coming out of the enterprise space. We follow much more of the consumer model, where we release early and often. We actually push changes to our live site a minimum of once a week, oftentimes twice a week. And what this allows us to do is, as we get different customer demands and have a lot of high priority features or functionality that we want to roll out, we're able to respond very quickly. And I think, as a lot of people have seen in the video platform space, we've been able to innovate and iterate very quickly on top of our core platform. We're seeing a migration away from customers who are only focused on reducing their bottom line by essentially automating more of their workflow, getting larger scale, reducing their overall cost, to really looking to how do they actually increase their overall top line. And this really brings with it a demand on completely different tools and resources. Whereas before it was simple content management workflow, how do I ingest my content and distribute it efficiently? Now we're seeing a lot of people focused on, how do I take my content, how do I syndicate it more broadly, how do I see how my users are actually consuming that content, get a better understanding of their consumption patterns, and then monetize more effectively based on that insight. The overarching philosophy is collect anything and everything we can. So everything from how many daily, weekly, monthly uniques you see on a per piece of content basis to which specific parts of a video stream is each individual watching. So if they're rewinding and watching the same scene over and over again, or if you're seeing a very aggressive drop-off in users in the first 30 seconds of a clip, that's usually indicative of a bad introduction into your video. And what we're seeing is a lot of content owners are using that to have a more rapid feedback loop directly into their content production and their content monetization strategies. One of the things we launched very recently was actually a real-time analytics engine that gives you real-time feedback as to how your content's actually being consumed. I mean, obviously you're going to see a higher abandonment rate when people run ads. A lot of it depends on the type of content, the type of user, the geographical regions, sometimes even the time of day. And one of the things that we'll be launching or releasing in the coming months will be a series of reports based on the analytics data that Ooyala collects across our entire publisher network, really highlighting a lot of the trends that we see across content consumption and content monetization for our entire publisher base. We see, of course, the online is a very different consumption medium. A lot of the 30-second in-streams, whether they're pre, post, or mid-through, we're all architected more towards a consumption pattern of content that was 24 raw minutes in length, as opposed to, say, 4 or 5 minutes in length. I think the 30 seconds still has valid placement depending on the type of content, on the type of user. But for a lot of short form content, 4 or 5 minutes in length or even less, you're going to see very harsh abandonment rates and a migration away from those longer form adverts, which really were designed for a very different consumption pattern, a very different medium. In the upcoming year, you'll start to see an increasing amount of insight available through the backlot system as to how your users are really consuming their content and how you can most effectively personalize their media experience.